Picture in your mind the most beautiful places on earth. Now imagine these global treasures blanketed in trash. These are not scenes from some apocalyptic nightmare or sci-fi movie. This is reality of what will actually happen unless we take action now. We have already had numerous grim glimpses of this very real nightmare from around the world. Waves of garbage washing up onto the shore in the Dominican Republic. Streets left blanketed with trash after flooding in India. Idyllic Pacific Island beaches and underwater scenery marred by plastic debris. Actual continents of plastic forming in the oceans, the largest of which is 3 times the size of France, with an estimated weight equal to 500 jumbo jets.
This is one of countless landfills, strewn with largely non-recyclable garbage as far as the eye can see. To manage the waste which lies on the surface already seems an insurmountable task, but there is more that lies beneath, not to mention the trash that is washed out into the oceans by flooding.
And the problem is only getting worse.
As of 2010, it was estimated that we had accumulated 6.3 trillion kilograms of plastic waste, and of this, 79% remains in landfills and the natural environment, polluting our planet. Every year, 13 million tons of plastic waste ends up in the oceans. It is expected that by the year 2050, a festering mass of 12 billion tons of plastic waste will be polluting our Earth, and the weight of plastic in the oceans will exceed the total weight of fish.
Such plastic takes over 450 years to degrade. But then what? Then this toxic pollution is absorbed into the ground and natural waterways. Plastics in the sea gradually break down into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics, which are eaten and absorbed by fish and other sea life, is entering the food chain. More and more, we are eating plastic. Our hearts have been wrenched by chilling images of turtles, of birds, of whales, of seals suffering and dying, starving to death, being strangled because of our plastic pollution. That should be bad enough to drive us into action. But the question we must now ask ourselves is, what will all this plastic pollution do to humans? We already know that toxic fumes from plastic waste rise up to pollute the atmosphere. How will this affect us? Is it going to give us cancer? What will it do to future generations? To our children? Will their growth be stunted? Will life expectancy decrease? Clearly, we must find a solution, but what can we do with all this plastic? In our world today, we see a growing army of people determined to wage war against plastic waste and make a difference. The power of humanity is beautiful, and each effort brings a ray of hope. But to truly solve this global problem, we need something drastic, something earth-shaking, something industrial and sustainable, even commercial. In collaboration with prominent researchers from Thailand's prestigious Chulalongkorn University, Sepco has developed and optimized an innovative and ultra-clean industrial process for converting waste plastic into high-quality synthetic fuel. Enter the Polypetron Gen 5, a waste plastic to fuel production module. At full production, the 5th generation Polypetron has the capacity to produce at least 15,000 liters of oil per day per module, while disposing of 20,000 kilograms of waste plastic, and all this with zero negative environmental impact.
At the moment, we're traveling to the province of Saraburi, which is the gateway to the populous northeastern region of Thailand. There we're going to meet with the founders of the company Sepco Industries.
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Mehta. Thank you so much for having us here today. How long has this really been going? When did this process actually begin?
The pyrolysis system been with us for many years. The first generation 15 years ago, with that one is still working.
It's still
Working.
It still works.
Still make money for us.
It's still making money. So
Yes,
it's
of course.
producing fuel right now.
Of course, we produce the fuel, put into our car, send it to the farmer, send to the logistic company. I would like to introduce the Chief Engineer Officer, and he is the man behind all the success in here. Mr. Thawat Kulabut. He won the first gold medal for the innovation of this system. This is the first generation. So we use firewood to generate the heat for the system. We need the heat to melt the plastic to create the smoke, and then after that we take it out to distillation later on. So this is second generation, a little bit different because of that one we put it in the factory, and this one we put in the closed area here. We need to know there is emission leaking out from the system or not.
Basically to make it run cleaner.
Cleaner, improving for the emission.
So this is the third generation model.
But this one we have 10,000 liters a day.
So this is the first model that you expanded production to 10,000
To
liters per
10,000
day.
liters a day. This is the what we call the last generation of the batch system. Put the 20 ton of the waste plastic in and then generate approximately 13,000, 15,000 liters of the diesel.
So here we are at the Polypetron Gen 5, the final model of your system. Obviously, you've developed the technology for efficiency
Of course, yes.
and
Yes.
to get more output.
20 tons of plastic, you can get at least 15,000 liters up to 18,000 liters.
The important thing about this is that it's running continuously, non-stop.
Non-stop, 24 hours a day. The first one, you might get some smell, some odor system disturb you. But second one, a little bit like that. But the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one is nothing coming out at all. If it coming out, we reuse it again in this one.
Okay, so everything's running cleaner and more
Cleaner,
efficiently.
more efficiently.
Advanced development of the polypetron comes at a crucial time when the demand for such technology is higher than ever. The world today is overwhelmed in its struggle with waste management because many countries like China have decided to stop accepting plastic waste imports. This sudden change has brought the world to a crisis point, with trash stacking up and screaming for a solution. Despite the increase in alternative energy, the demand for oil is going up, not down. Fuel consumption is expected to grow 25% from 2015 to 2040, fueling rising demand for renewable energy solutions. In January 2018, the European Parliament announced new legislation on energy efficiency, requiring greater use of advanced biofuels, which include waste-based fossil fuels like the oil produced by the polypetron. The law requires a share of 1.5% advanced biofuels by 2021 and at least 10% by 2030. This creates a huge demand and allows them to be sold at a premium. When refined, this pyrolysis oil produces over 60% European standard EN590 diesel and at least 20% gasoline. The remaining byproducts of gas and char are not wasted, but reused to further heat the reactor, bringing a sustainable, renewable, clean and efficient production process.
The persistent determination of Dr. Mehta, Mr. Thawat, and their team of scientists and researchers have brought us a tangible solution to the global waste crisis by making effective use of the plastics that we have carelessly discarded for so many generations. What has been destructive pollution can now be converted to a renewable source of energy to fuel the future.